What is going on, guys? Insanely enough, today is indeed September 11th, which is going to be the early access of Motorfest, and I would probably say when you guys can actually start the game up and/or play it, it's most likely going to range, but I would say by the time of end of today, most players are probably going to jump in, and with that, a lot of people are most likely going to have some questions, but I will get into more of that here in a quick second, guys. But the first thing, though, how do you actually import your vehicles over, and what happens after you do it? So the first thing here, obviously import my collection. For me, I have 539 vehicles from the Crew 2 that you can bring over. So once you actually do that, guys, do keep in mind this choice is irreversible. And what that means, though, if you actually do bring your cars over, you will not be able to actually not do this and or start from scratch. So do keep that in mind if you guys actually change your mind afterwards. But of course, this one is going to say start from scratch. So if you guys do actually choose to pick this option, you're then not going to have any of your vehicles from the Crew 2. But if you obviously do want to do this, though, you can obviously move them over later, which I would say a lot of people are most likely going to do that. And or if you guys maybe like to grind, though, I would probably say this is going to be a great option because you obviously start over. So it's going to be like an entirely new experience. But you will then notice, guys, with the X button here, at least on PS5, you obviously have to hold this down, which I would say is going to be one of the best ways to do that. That way you don't accidentally hit something you do not want. But without further ado, guys, let's go import this collection and jump into this game a bit more. Now, once you guys do complete that first tutorial for the game, which by the way is going to be the exact same one that was in the beta, so it's not going to be like a surprising like couple of races or anything, but at least once you actually get those done, you can then pick your car to actually start off on the game. So when you guys are in the menu, you are then going to see the BMW Z4, which I do remember picking that vehicle for the beta, but you also have the lovely S2000, and then on the right side, you're then going to see the Ford Mustang GT Motorfest Edition, which I would probably say like 95% of the player base is most likely going to pick the Mustang, which I would actually recommend picking the Mustang, guys. At least you can start off with a brand new car. But now the biggest question I am asking myself, though, after you do transfer your cars over, do you still have them in the Crew 2? Let's go find out. So now we are obviously back on the Crew 2, but my goodness, guys, I have to get back on Motorfest in a quick second. But I do really want to answer this question, though, because a lot of players are wondering, if you do transfer all of your vehicles over to Motorfest, are you still going to have them in the Crew 2? So the answer to that question is 100% going to be a yes. Now, I also had some comments asking, will my summon cars still be in the Crew 2 after I move them over to Motorfest? So the answer to that, guys, is 100% going to be a yes. And I would say this is awesome. That way, if you guys do want to jump back onto this game, though, so at least if you do want to actually jump back onto the Crew 2 for like a summit, you can then do like one of the old summits and or like some of the old stories as well. And I would probably say doing this was obviously like the best way. And to be honest, guys, I really did not think they were actually going to remove the cars from this game. Like, that would honestly make no sense to me if you actually lost all of your vehicles in the Crew 2 after moving them over. So if you guys were concerned about that, you can then jump back onto the Crew 2 and use any of the cars that you do own, and luckily all of your vehicles are going to be untouched. Now, I did notice losing your vehicles in the Crew 2, at least when coming over to Motorfest, was definitely going to be like a big concern. So, luckily, you guys are not going to have to worry about that one bit. But there's a couple of things I do want to go over. So, obviously, as I did mention, if you did not move your vehicles over, you can also do this at a later date if you would like to. So, you don't necessarily have to do it right at this second. Do keep in mind, by the way, guys, cars like the Bugatti Divine Edition are not going to be in the game yet. You actually have to wait till Season 2, which I do believe is in December. I also do want to mention, by the way, guys, if you are wondering where your items are for, like, let's say the Liberty Walk Supra, that is indeed going to be rewarded to you after you do actually complete the tutorial. I noticed once I actually went into the main menu, all of these items actually showed up for me, so all of those vehicles and or items will be available instantly, by the way, once you actually complete the tutorial, so no need to panic on that, guys, if you were wondering where your items are. But that's basically going to sum it up for the main questions, guys. I do know a lot of players are wondering if they kept their cars, so that is going to be a big plus. Now, I do want to mention as well, Do keep in mind if you guys actually want to bring cars over, you can do that at a later date. And do keep in mind cars from the Season 9 update as well from the Crew 2 are not going to be available until Season 2 in Motorfest, which is indeed going to be in December, so that's obviously going to be a bit of a time away, but luckily we can use most of our vehicles from the game until then, so I really do think, guys, so far logging onto this game, it's definitely going to be a blast, though. I really can't wait to jump into these playlists and or check them out a bit more, so funnily enough, I really haven't done much of anything yet, but we are obviously in early access, so I would like to know your initial thoughts in the comments below. And by the way, guys, stay tuned for lots of content from the playlist, like a lot of the challenges and or all of the new cars, and basically lots of content coming, guys, so don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more insight.